you know, the common thing is for people to come stand here and make promises and say cheap things. But it's beyond words. The fact is, if we do not have an act that tells us about the construction of the mind, then we must have some objective way of making a good judgment as to what is driving us and those things that I have mentioned. So I think the decision before us is a decision of the future and the decision of the tomorrow of our children. And what we have done is to present a social charter before Ndenugu to tell them how we plan to address the emerging future, how we intend to build a tomorrow that our young people will have the opportunity to flourish. And we have also said, look, in order for us to achieve this humongous vision that we have laid bare before Ndenugu, we have proposed to intervene in all the critical sector, which we know that the revenue we currently receive from the Federation account is hardly optimal to intervene in those sectors. So, and that's why we have come up with other ideas on how we can harness our internal resources, how we can attract businesses and help them de-risk investment flow. And which is why we said that we're on a mission to make Enugu State the preferred and the most attractive state for investment, for business. So we said we're going to make Enugu State the preferred destination for business. We're going to kick out poverty in Enugu State. But the question that you must ask yourself, the pertinent questions that you must ask yourselves, would be to interrogate the antecedents of the people telling you that they are going to do all these laudable things. Now ask yourself what any of them has done outside politics. So you're going to begin to then get to the real thing. What luxury are they living to come and serve you? Now I'll give you a snippet of my background. I started a business in less than 14 years ago from a zero base. I have grown that business. When we started, we had only 3 employees. Today, we have 8,500 employees. We've grown. We have 8,500 employees. We have grown that business from a zero base to number 1 in the industry. We did that not by growing marginally or incrementally. We did that by destructive innovation, and we grew exponentially after we have disrupted the status quo in that space. Now, the same thing is what we're offering in the Enugu, because we understand that across all the sectors, the current model, financing model or funding model that focuses much on a rent-seeking approach, where we have to go to Abuja at the end of the month to collect Federation accounts, come back. The money we get from the Federation account cannot optimally intervene across the sectors that we need critical intervention. So the only way we can begin to intervene optimally in those sectors is to rejig our funding model. And that's essentially what we have done. We believe that this current funding model has served out its purpose, and it has reached the peak. It has got to its maximum potential. So we need to rethink new ways of funding so that we can critically intervene across this sector. And that's essentially what we have done, what we have proposed. So when we said to Ndi Enugu that we're going to do 10,000 kilometers of road, some people came to me the day after we unveiled our social contracts to inform me that we may have made some typographical error. And I questioned what? They said, look, you perhaps meant to say 1,000 kilometers. I said, no, we actually meant 10,000 kilometers. But I also understand the critics, the naysayers, and the doubters. I explained to him that what we're going to do to achieve that length of road in the next 4 to 8 years owns exclusively 3 gas fields, huge gas fields that we have not explored, we're not producing from it. We were just 2 months ago designated an oil producing state from an oil field that is co-owned with Anambra and Kogi. But that's just one oil field. But we indeed own 3 oil and gas fields exclusively in Enugu, which we haven't explored. We're going to have an industrial revolution here in Enugu. We're going to move our young people to that digital age, to that digital economy that we are looking forward to get them to play in. We know that the world is migrating to the era of robotics, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, augmented reality. Those skills and those mindsets, those behavior, essentially what we need to prepare our young people with so that they can play in that era of digital economy. And part of our plan is to make it mandatory for our young people to have skills from age 12. So when by the grace of God and with your massive support we receive or secure your mandate to serve you, one of the things we will do within the first 30 days in office is to send a bill to the State House of Assembly to ensure that they enact a law that makes it mandatory for our young people at age 12 to be exposed to ICT skills. We say to our people, in 180 days, give us 180 days. Go back to your house, turn on your tap, you have water running. We also said, and we were going to fund it. You know, when we started Pinnacle Oil and Gas 14 years ago, we said to the market that we're going to lead the market, that our vision is to be number 1 in the downstream of the oil and gas sector. A lot of our colleagues thought we were jokers and we were jesters, that we were coming into an industry that was mature, an industry where you have the incumbents, the already established companies, an industry where the shares of the market has already been taken over by the established company, and a small company like you coming in late entrant in a mature industry, and you're saying that you want to be number 1. Everybody thought we were jokers. But fast forward 14 years after, we are today number 1. So the same way, I understand the value of the fidelity of promises made. So I'm not here to say things to you because they are flowery or because they are esoteric, they are outlandish. No, I'm basically saying things to you that our antecedent lends itself to. If you interrogate my past, you would observe that all I have done is disrupting my space, disrupting the environment that I play in, disrupting it positively, identifying the compelling business or social problem and proffering solutions to them. That's all I have done in my life, and you can interrogate that. And the reason we have become so successful speaks also to our character and to our integrity. Because in the space, in any space for that matter where you play, for you to be a leader, I mean, you can lie to some people sometimes, but you cannot lie to everybody all the time. And in a space where you have to rely so much on financial institutions, one of the things that the financial institutions value most is integrity. If you do not have integrity, you cannot execute a project of over $1 billion. But that's my past. That's what I have done. And that's essentially why we're leading the industry today. Because if we come out and say, look, we want 100 billion naira, in less than 72 hours, we'll have the banks line up to give us, because they know we have integrity. So that essentially speaks to the part that has to do with competence, character, and capacity. Now, in talking about the principles of equity, fairness, and justice, I am not going to elucidate further response to it, because I think our reverend here has done justice to it. What is fair is fair. What is just. Part of why our people mobilize themselves and say we must support a particular candidate was because we felt that injustice was being meted on us, and that we were going to resist it as Ndibo. And that was part of why we mobilized our people. And that is the same thing that is about to, the same decision that we're faced with today. Are we going to stand and be recognized to be on the path of justice? Are we going to stand and recognize to be on the path of fairness and equity? And I think that if you look at those principles, which is basic if we really want to have a just society, that also favors me as one of your sons that is from Nkanu East. And that is not to say that there would be any part of this state that would be bereft of our developmental mileages. We're going to ensure that every zone in this state feels the impact of our development mileage. And we've outlined them, and because of time, when I unveiled my manifesto, it took me close to 3 hours to talk about them. But for want of time, I would urge you to please look at that document, and you will see how, when we say tomorrow is here, the tomorrow that we talk about, we've unpacked that tomorrow in our manifesto. And that tomorrow is about you, the young ones. Finally, that tomorrow is your tomorrow. You are the leader of that tomorrow, the heroes of that tomorrow. And it is for us, the decision that we make today, the activities that we execute today will define the tomorrow that you want. The tomorrow you want to wake up 4 years from now into. And I'm telling you with a deep sense of modesty that if I secure your mandate, I am going to devote all my energy to ensure that we create that opportunity for you to flourish. All that is left for us to do is in 6 days' time to troop out in our thousands and speak in one resounding voice and elect me as your next governor. And that tomorrow will be right here. Thank you very much. Thank you.